Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. You may have heard by now that the other day the Xrp Ledger halted, which certainly sounds scary on the surface, and it's not a good look. Definitely not a very good look. Although, the Xrp Ledger, now running for over a decade, has had uptime of 99.998 something percent. This is actually, and I'm not sure many people are aware of this is actually the second time that the Xrp Ledger has halted in its history. The first time was several years ago. There was a bug and it was fixed, and I covered it extensively on my channel at the time. So presumably it's not the same problem popping up again. It looks like something else has occurred. Now, I'm going to share with you what I know to this point, but first and foremost, let me point out that if you have XRP, it is safe. Okay, this is not something that's going to impact your specific holdings, whether you have your holdings on a cryptocurrency exchange or in self-custody. Everything is fine on that front. But I will share with you what we know, but at the outset, I'll let you know, we actually don't have all the answers yet. But, as I'll highlight as we get further into the video, there's a good reason that we don't know, and there's certain information that's not being shared with us yet, which I actually honestly completely understand, and you'll see why in due course. But I'll get you updated on what we do know, at least for now, and then I'll once the rest of the information is public, I'll be happy to put out an update video. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, now, it's never fun when this stuff happens. It's super rare with the Xrp Ledger. Again, like I said, this is only the second time. In both instances, it was very short-lived. I'm not sure exactly how long this was down. It might have been, I don't know, 40, 50 minutes. I'm not 100% sure because I had an initial indication from somebody who was tracking it at the time, and then in less than an hour from that post, it seemed to be kind of correcting itself. Didn't mean that the underlying problem was gone, but it started to correct itself and transactions were going through again. It was no longer halted at that point, but I don't know for sure. So I'm guessing it was less than an hour that the Xrp Ledger was halted, but not 100% sure. It could have, in theory, been that long. But there are other chains that actually, it's not just a halting, and there's a technical difference, which I'm not going to get too into the weeds. I'll let David Schwartz talk about that because he was actually kind of addressing what's the difference between a network halting versus the network being down. And network being down worse, but I just wanted to point out this is not something that results in investors fleeing chains. Thankfully, if that were the case, then Solana would be in a lot of trouble because it's the actual blockchain Solana. It has gone down a number of times. There's one example on your screen here from Cointelegraph, February 6th of this year. Solana network down. Validators act to restore service. Now, there's a reason I'm picking on Solana here. Nothing against it. I happen to not hold it, but that doesn't matter. Nothing. I'm just highlighting it. The reason I picked Solana as an example here is to highlight it doesn't matter because this coin today is number 4 in market cap ahead of XRP. It's ahead of XRP. And it goes down with much greater regularity and for longer periods of time. So not the end of the world, but not a good look. And we don't want this happening. Got to get fixed. And hang with me, and I'll explain. But here's the first warning that I saw from this the other day. This is from Wietse Wind. And so he's the founder of XRPL Labs and Zahao, very well known within the XRP community. And so he noticed that something was wrong, and he wrote the following. The XRP Ledger is currently partially down. We see all full history servers operated by us and others down, and Ripple's cluster is also reporting having no current ledger. Investigating. So that's alarming, and there's also a chance, by the way, that some actual ledger history was gone, which would just give the toxic Bitcoin maxis more fuel to the fire to irrationally bitch at us. Although at least they'd have an argument if that were the case, but there was a concern actually shortly after Wietse Wind acknowledged as much. It looks like we're actually missing some data, so check this out. He put out this post just slightly after the one I just shared with you, and he wrote, all node operators I just talked to report their nodes halting/crashing or not making forward progress. It seems the ledger has stabilized and nodes are coming back and picking up on a new consensus ledger. it seems that Ledger, and I'm not going to read the numbers, but he cited which ledgers from the beginning point to the end point that were affected. He said it seems that those ledgers have been lost. Certainly not ideal to have data actually lost based on transactions where you've got this immutable blockchain that has to be totally transparent. Not exactly ideal that you could potentially have data that's just gone, and then that's kind of a problem. You can't prove. I mean, doesn't that kind of break the chain if you can't go back? And so anyway, then he said, we've seen nodes going down no matter their node type. Full history, current ledger, pathfinding, submission. While XRPL cluster is sinking back, the results on Ripple's S2 cluster vary depending on which round-robin node your client connects to. There may or may not be a consensus ledger. It'll take a bit for the situation to get back to normal, and investigations will be launched, no doubt, into the cause of this halt. And then we got this update shortly after that one, and he said, update, most nodes are back on a consensus ledger and closing ledgers again. The full history nodes are sinking fully back, meaning no ledgers seem to have been lost. Smiley face. Yep. Thank God on that one, man. That would not be ideal. If the data was corrupted, gone, whatever it may be, that would not be ideal. And so then he says network seems to recover on its own, which is a fascinating fact, and I'm very curious about that. He then says full history nodes are still sinking back. Other than that, we're pretty much back to normal. And so that was on the 25th. And so from the first post to the third post, this final one, so it's from 7:48 a.m. Central Time, which is my time zone, to 8:24 a.m. Central Time. And then it looks like it's just working again. And then somebody asked him, interesting, someone mentioned nodes just went down. Any idea as to why they went down and which nodes specifically? Also, thank you for the real-time updates, amazing communication. And Weetze did write back, and he just simply said, to be investigated, several possible causes. So at that point, still didn't know. Here, there was a post from attorney Bill Morgan of the XRP community. He said, when developers in the community say the XRP ledger halted and was not down, such as when Solana has been down, what does halted mean compared to being down? Yeah, and so there's a technical difference, like I said a couple minutes ago, between halted and being down, and David Schwartz clarified that. David Schwartz, of course, the creator of the damn thing, so I'd say that he's well suited to respond to stuff like this. He's one of the three creators of XRP and the XRP Ledger, and of course Ripple CTO. And he says, I think the distinction is whether or not it's still producing valid ledgers. If so, you can argue that it's not down. But I think whatever technical arguments you want to make, if you can't know you successfully completed a payment irrevocably, the system isn't very useful. Right, so I get the point that he's making, even if technically it meets whatever nerd definition of being up and functional. If you can't use it the way you want, it might as well be down then. And so in this case, yeah, technically halted, not exactly a useful ledger for that particular period of time, unfortunately, right? And so I had already, after going through this, and I'll show you the post in just a second, I came across a post from a Ripple engineer, and a number of other individuals as well were talking about this, about how there was actually pretty quickly that day, they found a fix. So they found the problem, they found a fix, and they put the fix forth, right? But what I hadn't seen, as I posted what is now on your screen, which I'll read in a second, I had not seen to that point an explanation of what actually went wrong and how it was fixed. And so I wrote the following. Is there an actual explanation of why the XRP Ledger halt occurred yesterday? I'm looking all over. I just keep seeing posts about there being a fix, but have yet to find an actual explanation of what went wrong. XRP community member Michael Nardolillo responded to me, and he said, everyone says stay tuned for details. I'm assuming they want all nodes to upgrade and the fix to be deployed before it's public. Could be a way to attack the XRP ledger if it's known before being fixed. Which is a pretty reasonable response, and as soon as I read that from him, I was like, yeah, that's in line with what I saw from a Ripple employee. So I wrote back to him and I said, yeah, I saw a post from a Ripple employee saying something like that. Might have been a post from last night or this morning, which of course is reasonable if that's the rationale. And so the post is from, Brad Chase. He's a VP of engineering at Ripple. And I got 2 posts from him. The first one is acknowledging that there's a problem. So this is in the morning, 10:13 a.m. on the 25th. He says, the Ripple X engineering team is investigating the root cause and working on a fix. Appreciate XRPL Labs and the rest of the community's quick responses to make sure the XRP ledger is secure and stable. We'll share more updates as soon as we have additional information. Okay, so then, again, that was 10:13 a.m. in the morning. Then at 9:24 p.m., my time zone central, he had an update. They got a fix here. And he wrote, XRPL node operators and validators, please update your infra to the 2.3.0 Ripple D release ASAP. And big thanks to all who worked quickly to release a fix. Given the nature of the issue, more details on the root cause to come after the network adopts the fix to ensure safety. And so to this point, at least as of the time I'm recording this, we do not know what went wrong and exactly the specifics of what the fix. It's not really being discussed. So there is a fix. It has been patched. But it was indeed the case that just to be extra duper safe, extra super duper triple safe, that they're making sure that the fix is fully implemented so that you can't use that knowledge as a vulnerability to attack the XRP ledger, and then we get to find out what it is. So unfortunately, at this moment, I can't tell you what the problem is because all the cool tech nerds out there, they ain't telling us yet. But I say, that's fine. That sounds perfectly reasonable, rational, responsible. I'm all for it. It's fine. As long as the information does come out. If it didn't, then that's where I'd start to, bitch about it on the internet some more. On this channel, that's what I do. I bitch on the internet, so I definitely would. But no, it seems clear that they're going to be dispersing that information. We just don't know yet. So things could be worse. Technology is not perfect, but XRP Ledger, in terms of functionality, it's pretty damn close to it. It truly is reliable. Because again, nothing's perfect. No chain is, but it's been up almost 100% of the time it's existed for over a decade now. And again, like I said, this clearly has not shaken any sort of speculator confidence. In fact, there are all sorts of chains that got some serious money invested in them, and they've performed way worse in terms of uptime. Way, way, way worse than the XRP Ledger. So it's not surprising to me in the least that this is not impacting us and it's not hurting us in terms of price action for this market cycle. So at least on that front, nothing to worry about, and at least you don't have to worry about the safety and security of your XRP as a result of this specifically. So I'll keep you posted, but that is all we know for now. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.